Hey, how's it going? It's Tim here. I'm excited to share with you today my testimony, my story of how I've come to this point in my life in discerning a vocation to the priesthood. So, when I was a young boy going to church, I remember thinking to myself when I was looking up at the priest, wow, like there's something amazing about him. I don't know what it was. I just was drawn towards the priest. But later on in life, when I was a teenager, being a priest was probably the last thing that I would ever want to do, mostly because a lot of my friends weren't practicing their faith. But when I was 15, I went to a Catholic youth conference, and it was there that I had a powerful encounter with Jesus. For the first time in my life, I knew that God was real and that He loved me. And this encounter with Jesus really changed the whole course of my life. When I finished high school, I just didn't feel like university was the next right step for me. I didn't have peace, even though I got accepted and I went and visited all these universities. It just didn't feel right. And so I applied to be a missionary with Net Ministries. And basically, I worked for 4 years in both Australia and Ireland. And I worked with young people, helping them to grow in their faith. And I would work in churches and in schools. And basically, this was a huge time in my life where I was surrounded by people who really loved Jesus, who really loved their Catholic faith. And I began to pray more. I began to really study my faith even more. And I was also surrounded by so many amazing priests. And it was, just what I realized was that the desire that I had as a kid, that wonder and awe towards the priest, was returning. And then I started to ask the question, like, God, are you calling me to be a priest? And I was super afraid. I was like, I can't be a priest because of this and this and this. But the idea wouldn't go away, and it just kept on coming up and coming up. So eventually I worked up the courage. I spoke to a priest about it. And he had this advice for me. He said, Tim, if this is truly from God, then you have nothing to worry about, because if it's truly from God, He will give you the peace, and he'll make it clear that this is what He wants from you. So he said, just keep living your life, keep praying, keep going to Mass, keep going to reconciliation, to confession, and keep living your life. And so that's what I did. I kept on praying, I kept on going to church, I kept on working and going to confession, doing all these things, and growing my relationship with God. And what I realized over time was that the desire that I had to become a priest only grew and grew and grew. And it grew to the point where I needed to do something about it. So I started looking into, how do I become a priest? And basically what I realized was I was looking for a community. I wanted to be a priest in a community where I could have support and encouragement, and where I could encourage and support others as well. And so when someone told me about the Companions of the Cross, they're a community based out of Ottawa, I was like, okay, I gotta check these guys out. And so when I went out on the website and I started reading, everything I read was like, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. A community, rooted in a brotherhood, supporting, challenging, encouraging one another, and the mission of evangelization, the mission of calling people back to the church was exactly what I was looking for. And so it's been 7 years since I joined. My first year, I was at what we call the farm in Cumbermere, Ontario. It's not actually a farm. It used to be a farm. But it was an amazing year of just detoxing from everything. It's a year of kind of quieting down. You don't do a whole lot. You spend a lot of time in prayer and quiet. You only have 30 minutes of internet per week. And it was such an amazing year where I could really just quiet down and continue to ask that question. God, are you calling me to be a priest? And every single time I asked him that, I really felt like, yes, I'm calling you. I have a purpose for you. I have a plan for your life, and do not be afraid. And so after that, I came to Detroit, and I've been in seminary now for 6 whole years studying. I finished my philosophy degree, and then now I'm working on my theology graduate degree. And it's been amazing. It hasn't always been easy. Just like any vocation, there's challenges. There's, it really challenges, but it also is so rewarding. And I'm growing so much in so many different areas and aspects of my life. And so here I am. I'm about to go on to my pastoral internship next year. I'll be in a parish for the whole year, being mentored by one of our pastors, one of our priests. And I'm so excited to have this opportunity to take a year off school. I'm super excited about that. But also, just to be in a parish, to see exactly what the rhythm and everything is like in whatever parish I'll be assigned to. So please pray for me. Please pray for more vocations to the priesthood. And let me know if you have any prayer requests as well. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. God bless.